First past the post neither reflects voters' wishes, nor is any more likely to provide strong government than proportional representation. I want to also quote the late Robin Cook, who said in 2005, "Democracy is not just a means to an end. Democracy is a value in itself. And if we treasure that value, we need to provide a more democratic system for the centrepiece for our own political structure." And I agree with the Electoral Reform Society. Under first past the post, people feel more like observers than participants in the democratic process. Personally, I've never been particularly wedded to first past the post, though have personally been elected to first Hounslow Council and then to this House in over 9 elections through that system. But I can beat the years that the Honourable Member from Glasgow Central has been involved in PR. 35 years ago, I was elected to the NUS National Executive, so I share a political history with at least 4 other members in this room, where PR elections for that body were felt to be representative and fair. And since the Labour government created the London Assembly, I've been involved in campaigning for elections where the geographical link is maintained, contrary to the repeated points being made by people here today opposing the change. Furthermore, the London Assembly reflects the voting intentions of Londoners, as have all the new elected legislative bodies created by the Labour government in the years after 1997. Now, the Honourable Member for North East Derbyshire, who's no longer in his place, mentioned the recent New Zealand general election, of which I have personal experience. When I was visiting my son in New Zealand in September, I played a small part on election day, where they have multi-member PR. Notwithstanding the unorthodox way that the leader of New Zealand First announced his choice of partners in the Green and the Labour Party in order to form a Labour-led government, there is not a groundswell of opinion in New Zealand to move away from the multi-member system. I spent the day reminding voters in a strongly Labour voting area in South Auckland to go out to vote. And as a result of PR, because of that system and that focus, they were more likely to come out to vote than perhaps they may have done, because otherwise it would have been a safe seat under first past the post. Oh, obviously, no doubt, because of those conversations they had with a middle-aged English MP on their doorsteps. But anyway, they now have a Labour government, a Labour-led government. And in New Zealand, the voter has 2 votes, one for the electoral district and one for the national list, thereby representing both their geographic concerns and also their national political perspective. So what do we have in first past the post in the UK now? From too many people in safe seats, they say on the doorstep, what's the point of voting? And those in highly marginal seats, like my own, was until June 2017, when it now seems to be a safe seat for the time being. But in those seats, people are often voting not for their first party of choice, but the candidate most likely to defeat the candidate they least want. 1 in 5 people vote tactically, according to the Electoral Reform Society. And the lack of representation in Parliament of small parties is abysmal. Yet often, as the leader of the Green Party has said, they often represent millions of votes. In my seat in June this year in Brentford and Isleworth, going into the election, I had a majority of 465. The Green Party, some of whose members are here today, they withdrew their candidate. They did this because they felt I was more likely to further their priorities in Parliament than my Conservative opponent. And I met many people on the doorstep who normally vote Green, who said they were going to vote for me, but would have liked to have had an influence on getting a Green MP elected to Parliament. I met many Liberal Democrats who were voting for me, but would have preferred the chance to vote Lib Dem. This is not democracy. This is not good democracy.
Well, my honourable friend,
I certainly will.
I'm really grateful because my honourable friend's making an excellent speech, but I did want to highlight that we come to Westminster because we want to advance the politics that we care passionately about. Isn't it right that our constituents also have the opportunity to advance the politics that they're most passionately about by voting with the choices that they have before them to have a more representative voice in this place ultimately?
In my view, PR is a way of having more representative voice. But in conclusion, Sir Roger, whilst no system is perfect, all systems have elements of complexity, all can bring instability, and all can bring hung parliaments, and all can bring coalitions. But what PR brings is proportionality. A voter knows that if they vote, their vote will help towards the weighting of the party they want to see sitting in that legislature.